Prince Daniel's convoy swept through the palace gates just before midnight. The guards saluted immediately, surprised that the crown prince had returned without prior ceremony. Word traveled through the palace corridors within minutes. The prince is back. Servants hurried into position while members of the royal security detail lined the entrance hall. Daniel stepped out of the vehicle wearing a dark suit, his expression calm but unreadable. Behind him came Director Musa and two trusted security officers carrying sealed document cases. Captain Ibrahim approached and bowed respectfully. "Welcome home, Your Highness." Daniel nodded. "Has anything unusual happened while I was away?" The captain hesitated. "Nothing beyond the ordinary, sir. Lady Zara has remained inside the royal residence due to illness. The Queen Mother has visited her several times." Daniel's face remained expressionless. "I see." He walked into the palace without another word. The marble floors echoed beneath his footsteps. Everything looked exactly as he remembered. The towering chandeliers, the portraits of former kings, the long crimson carpet stretching toward the royal wing. Yet everything felt different. This palace had once been his safest place. Now it felt like enemy territory. Several servants greeted him with warm smiles. "Welcome home, Your Highness. It's good to see you again. We've missed you." Daniel thanked each of them politely before continuing toward his private office. Only when the heavy wooden doors closed behind him did he finally release a slow breath. Director Musa placed several files on the desk. "Everything you requested has been verified." Daniel opened the first folder. Inside were photographs, financial records, phone logs, travel documents, statements from witnesses. Every page exposed another piece of Zara's deception. Director Musa folded his hands behind his back. "There is more." Daniel looked up. "We discovered payments made to one of the palace accountants." "For what purpose?" "Altering certain records." Daniel's eyes narrowed. "Continue." The accountant admitted that Lady Zara instructed him to manipulate household expenses and create the impression that funds were disappearing from the royal accounts. Daniel closed the file slowly. "So she intended to accuse someone else." Director Musa nodded. "Most likely." Daniel leaned back in his chair. "So the trap was larger than I imagined." "It appears so." A knock interrupted them. Captain Ibrahim entered. "Your Highness." "What is it?" "The Queen Mother wishes to see you immediately." Daniel glanced at the clock. It was nearly midnight. "Tell Mother I'll visit her in 10 minutes." "Yes, sir." After the captain left, Daniel stood beside the large window overlooking the palace gardens. Moonlight reflected across the fountains. Tomorrow morning. Everything would change tomorrow morning. He smiled faintly. Before facing the palace, he would meet Amara. They would register their marriage legally. No one could separate them afterward. Not Zara. Not Mr. Alloy. Not anyone. Director Musa spoke quietly. "Your Highness." Daniel turned. "If tomorrow becomes difficult." "It will." "Are you certain Lady Amara should remain away from the palace?" Daniel answered immediately. "Absolutely." "Why?" "Because I refuse to let the first day she enters this family become a battlefield." Director Musa smiled. "She chose the right man." Daniel laughed softly. "I hope so." Meanwhile, across the palace, Queen Mother Helena sat beside Zara's bed. "My dear, Daniel has returned." Zara forced herself to smile weakly. "I heard. He'll probably visit you tomorrow." Zara lowered her eyes. "I hope he forgives me." The Queen Mother gently held her hand. "I believe he will. After all, every marriage experiences storms." Zara nodded while pretending to wipe tears from her eyes. "I've prayed every day." "I know. I've changed." "I believe you." The Queen Mother kissed her forehead. "Get some rest." "Thank you, Mother." Once the Queen left, the sweetness disappeared from Zara's face instantly. She sat upright. Her eyes hardened. "So, he's finally back." She walked toward the mirror. "I don't care what you plan during your trip, Daniel. You'll still belong to me." Her phone vibrated. A secret number. She answered immediately. "Speak." A male voice whispered. The prince returned with additional security. "I expected that. We couldn't get close." What about the woman? Unknown. Zara frowned. You still haven't located her? No. She became furious. Useless. We're trying. You'd better find her before sunrise. The call ended. Zara stared into the darkness. So, you're hiding her. A slow smile spread across her face. No problem. I'll force you to bring her out. Elsewhere. At the guest estate where Amara was staying. She wandered through the beautiful garden unable to sleep. The cool night breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers. Everything felt peaceful. Yet her heart refused to settle. One night. Only one night. Tomorrow she would officially become Daniel's wife before the law. Tomorrow they would start a new chapter. She touched the beaded necklace around her neck. Every bead represented his promise. She smiled. I miss you already. One of the housemaids approached carefully. My lady. Amara turned. Yes. Would you like some tea before sleeping? She nodded. That would be lovely. Minutes later. She sat on the balcony holding a warm cup. The elderly housekeeper smiled. His Highness has never prepared this estate for anyone before. Amara looked surprised. Really? Never. He personally supervised every room. He chose the flowers. He even changed the curtains. Amara laughed softly. He did all that? Yes. He wanted everything perfect before bringing you here. Tears gathered in Amara's eyes. He never told me. He didn't need to. His actions already spoke. Amara looked toward the stars. She had spent years believing she wasn't enough. Years doubting herself. Now someone loved her so completely that he noticed even the smallest details. She whispered, "Thank you." Back inside the palace, Daniel entered the Queen Mother's sitting room. She stood immediately and embraced him tightly. "My son. I missed you." "I missed you too, Mother." She held his face lovingly. "You've lost weight." Daniel laughed. "I've been busy." "You always are." They sat together. Servants served tea before quietly leaving. The Queen Mother smiled warmly. "I'm proud of you. The investment succeeded." "It did. The kingdom needed that." Daniel nodded. "It will create thousands of jobs." "I'm grateful." "So am I." She studied him carefully. "Now, what was that important thing you wanted to tell me?" Daniel became serious. "It concerns Zara." The Queen sighed. "Daniel, please don't judge until you've heard everything." She folded her arms. "I'm listening." Daniel opened one of Director Moose's folders. Inside were photographs. He placed the first picture before her. Her smile faded. "What is this?" "A meeting Zara claimed never happened." He showed another. "And this?" "A payment." Then another. And another. The Queen Mother's expression slowly changed from confusion to disbelief. "No." Daniel quietly continued. "There's more." She turned each page carefully. Every document contradicted everything Zara had told her over the past several months. "This cannot be." "It is." "No. I verified every document personally." The Queen's hands began trembling. "Daniel." "Yes, Mother. If this is true." "It is." "Then everything she told me was a lie." Daniel lowered his head. "I tried to tell you many times." Tears slowly filled the Queen Mother's eyes. She remembered every argument, every occasion she had defended Zara, every time she had dismissed Daniel's concerns. A heavy silence filled the room. Finally she whispered, "What have I done?" Daniel moved beside her. "You acted out of compassion." "I accused my own son." "You wanted peace." "I failed you." Daniel gently held her hand. "No. You trusted someone who manipulated everyone." The Queen wiped away tears. "I need to hear Zara's explanation." "You will." "When?" "Tomorrow." "Tomorrow. After I complete something very important." She looked at him. What could possibly be more important than this? Daniel smiled quietly. "My future." The Queen noticed the change in his eyes. For the first time in months, there was genuine happiness, hope, peace. She frowned slightly. "What aren't you telling me?" Daniel chuckled. "I promised someone this would remain a surprise." "A surprise?" You'll understand tomorrow. The queen looked suspicious. This mysterious person who helped with the investment. Daniel smiled without answering. Her curiosity only deepened. Elsewhere, inside a small apartment in the city, Mr. Alloy slammed a newspaper onto the table. His assistant stood nervously nearby. We still don't have Amara's passport. No, sir. We don't know where she is. No, sir. We've lost every advantage. The assistant swallowed. There may still be another option. Mr. Alloy looked up. What? If the prince hasn't legally married her yet. A dangerous smile slowly appeared. Continue. We can still challenge everything. Mr. Alloy's eyes gleamed. So, there is still time. He reached for his phone. Arrange every lawyer we have. And find out where the prince plans to be tomorrow morning. If we stop that marriage registration, everything changes. Back at the guest estate, Amara finally prepared for bed. Before sleeping, she looked once more at Daniel's message. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock, the place where we once said goodbye. She smiled. This time, we'll never say goodbye again. She placed the phone beside her pillow. Outside, hidden among the trees beyond the estate walls, a shadowy figure lowered a pair of binoculars. The stranger quietly spoke into a small radio. I've confirmed the woman's location. A cold voice answered from the other end. Excellent. Do not lose sight of her. The figure continued watching the brightly lit guest house as every light inside slowly went out. Neither Amara nor Daniel knew that before sunrise, several people with very different motives would begin moving toward the same destination. Some intended to protect their future. Others intended to destroy it. The first rays of dawn spread across the skyline of Abuja, painting the city in shades of gold. While most of the city was only beginning to wake, several lives were already moving toward a moment that would reshape the future of the royal family. Prince Daniel had barely slept. He stood on the balcony of his private chambers, watching the palace gardens below. The cool morning breeze carried the fragrance of fresh roses planted years earlier by his late father. Those flowers had survived storms, droughts, and seasons of neglect. Somehow they always bloomed again. He smiled faintly. They remind me of us, he whispered, thinking about Amara. A gentle knock came at his door. Come in. Captain Ibrahim entered with a respectful bow. Good morning, Your Highness. Good morning. The vehicle is prepared. Daniel nodded. Has anyone questioned my movements this morning? No, sir. Only the Queen Mother knows you have an important engagement. Good. Captain Ibrahim hesitated before speaking again. Our surveillance team noticed unusual activity outside the palace during the night. Daniel immediately became alert. What kind of activity? A black SUV drove past the palace 3 different times between 2 and 4 o'clock this morning. License plate. False registration. Daniel crossed his arms. Did they stop? No. But they appeared to be observing the palace. Daniel remained silent for several seconds. Increase security around the guest estate. It has already been done. And don't allow anyone suspicious within 500 meters of Lady Amara. Yes, Your Highness. Captain Ibrahim left. Daniel looked at the clock. 7:05 a.m. Only 2 hours remained before he would meet Amara. For the first time in years, he felt genuinely excited about the future. He walked toward his wardrobe and selected a simple navy blue suit instead of his formal royal attire. Today was not about the palace. Today was about love. Meanwhile, at the guest estate, Amara stood before a full-length mirror, while one of the housemaids adjusted the delicate cream-colored dress she had chosen. The elderly housekeeper stepped back with a satisfied smile. My lady, you look beautiful. Amara smiled shyly. Thank you. She touched the beaded necklace Daniel had given her. I don't need expensive jewelry today. This is enough. The housekeeper nodded. That necklace carries more meaning than diamonds. It does. Another maid entered carrying breakfast. My lady, His Highness instructed us not to allow you to leave without eating. Amara laughed. He actually said that? Word for word. She sat at the dining table but barely managed a few bites. Her excitement had stolen her appetite. The housekeeper noticed. You should eat a little more. I'll eat after we return. You'll need your strength. Amara finally finished another slice of toast. There. Happy. The women laughed together. For the first time since arriving in Nigeria, Amara felt completely at peace. She had no idea that peace would soon be tested. Across the city, inside a luxury hotel suite, Mr. Alloy stood before a large window while 3 lawyers arranged files across a conference table. One of them adjusted his glasses. Sir, we've reviewed every possible legal angle. Mr. Alloy turned. And if the prince and Amara complete a legal marriage today, your chances of separating them become significantly smaller. Mr. Alloy's jaw tightened. So we stopped the wedding. The challenge is locating them. Another lawyer spoke. Our investigators traced one of the prince's vehicles leaving the airport toward a private estate. Mr. Alloy's eyes brightened. So she is there. It appears so. He smiled coldly. I knew Daniel wouldn't take her directly to the palace. He walked toward the table. Prepare every document. What documents, sir? The inheritance records. The passport report. The old engagement agreements. One lawyer frowned. But many of those documents no longer have legal standing. Mr. Alloy looked directly into his eyes. They don't need to win. They only need to create confusion. The room fell silent. Mr. Alloy continued. If today's marriage is delayed, I gain time. And time changes everything. Elsewhere, Zara stood inside her dressing room surrounded by expensive gowns. Her personal stylist smiled. Which one would you like to wear today? Zara selected an elegant royal blue dress. The prince likes blue. The stylist nodded. You'll look stunning. Zara smiled confidently. He'll remember why he married me. As the stylist worked on her hair, Zara secretly checked her phone. No messages. No updates. Her patience was beginning to disappear. Finally, she called the unknown number again. Any news? The man answered immediately. We've located the woman. Zara's heartbeat quickened. Where? At one of the prince's private estates. So he really brought her back. Yes. Zara stared into the mirror. Is she alone? For now. Keep watching. Yes. And don't interfere until I give the order. She ended the call before the stylist noticed anything unusual. The woman smiled. You seem happier today. I am. My husband finally came home. Back at the palace, Queen Mother Helena sat quietly in her prayer room. The evidence Daniel had shown her refused to leave her mind. Every photograph, every financial record, every witness statement. She closed her eyes. Please let this not be true. But deep inside, she already knew. She remembered moments she had dismissed. Small inconsistencies. Excuses that never quite made sense. Times Daniel had tried to speak only for her to silence him. Regret weighed heavily on her heart. A palace maid entered carefully. Your Majesty. Yes. Lady Zara wishes to have breakfast with you. The queen remained silent. After a long pause she answered. Tell her I'll join her shortly. The maid bowed and left. The queen looked toward the family portrait hanging on the wall. Her late husband had always told her. A ruler must never ignore truth simply because it is painful. She whispered. I should have listened. Meanwhile, Daniel's convoy quietly left the palace through a private gate. Only Captain Ibrahim and 2 security vehicles accompanied him. No royal flags. No ceremonial escort. He wanted today to remain private. As they drove through the city streets, Daniel found himself smiling at ordinary things. Children walking to school. Street vendors opening their shops. Morning traffic. Everything felt brighter. Captain Ibrahim noticed. I've never seen your highness this happy. Daniel laughed. I don't think I've ever been this happy. You deserve it. Daniel looked out the window. I nearly lost her. But you didn't. No. And I never will again. At that very moment, another vehicle began following the convoy from a distance. Inside sat 2 men wearing sunglasses. One held a camera with a powerful zoom lens. The prince is moving. The driver nodded. Stay back. We don't want to be noticed. Several streets away, Amara stepped outside the guest estate. The driver opened the car door. My lady. She smiled. Thank you. Before entering the vehicle, she turned toward the beautiful house where she had spent the night. Tomorrow, she hoped, it would simply become another happy memory. The convoy began moving. Inside the car, Amara touched the necklace around her neck once again. Her phone vibrated. A message from Daniel. "I'm already on my way. Drive safely." She smiled and replied, "See you soon, my prince." Daniel's phone buzzed. Reading her message made him smile even wider. Captain Ibrahim pretended not to notice. Half an hour later, the place where they had once separated came into view. It was a peaceful hill overlooking a quiet lake just outside the city. Months earlier, harsh words had broken two hearts there. Today, love would heal them. Daniel arrived first. He stepped out of the vehicle and slowly walked toward the old wooden bench overlooking the water. Everything looked exactly the same. He remembered every painful word he had spoken, every tear Amara had cried, every regret he had carried since then. He whispered, "This time will be different." A few minutes later, another convoy approached. Daniel's heart began racing. The car stopped. The rear door opened. Amara stepped out. For several seconds, neither of them moved. They simply stared at one another. Then Daniel walked toward her. "So, you came." Amara smiled. "You asked me to." He gently took both her hands. "You look beautiful. And you look handsome. I've missed you. You saw me yesterday. It still feels too long." She laughed softly. "You really are impossible." Daniel reached into his pocket. "I have something." He removed a small velvet box. Amara looked surprised. "Another gift?" "No. This should have happened a long time ago." He opened the box. Inside lay a simple wedding band crafted from white gold and diamonds. No elaborate design. Only two tiny words engraved inside. "Forever yours." Amara's eyes filled with tears. "It's beautiful." Daniel carefully placed the ring on her finger. "I don't want anything in this world to separate us again." She looked at him through tearful eyes.